Allianz Group Chief Economist Heise expects Malaysia's gross domestic product or GDP to decline by 2.5% this year as the country's economy has been strongly hit by the downturn in world trade. Heise says investment and exports in Malaysia has suffered a slump and foresees economic development to only begin recovery in the second quarter in line with the world trade stabilisation, and that business activity is likely to pick up in the second half of the year.
We get a recovery in the second quarter. A recovery in terms of month-over-month or QOQ growth. It will be negative in a year-to-year comparison, of course, but I think it will improve. There are already signs that industrial production has improved, and I think that will continue. Export growth will improve. I would almost like to say will normalize.
Malaysia's first quarter result, however, saw the country's worst quarterly decline since the Asian financial crisis of 1997-98, contracting by 6.2% due to severe decline in the manufacturing sector. Meanwhile, the government today has revised downwards the country's GDP forecast to between -4% and -5% for 2009 from an earlier projection of -1% to 1% after the first quarter drop. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak says the wider contraction projection was due to a steeper decline in exports coupled with a decline in private investment. He was quoted saying that external demand plummeted more than expected. Heise predicts that the country's GDP will return solid with a growth of 3.5% in 2010. Meanwhile, however, he adds that Asia will still see fairly low growth of 2.7% this year because of its robust banking system, large currency reserve and current account surpluses and low foreign debt.
If you look at the Asian region itself, it has notched up positive GDP growth for 2009, or will notch up positive GDP growth for 2009. That is mostly due to the positive development in China, India, also Indonesia will most certainly stay in positive territory. So these countries that have either big domestic markets or that have really primed their economies like the Chinese have done, they are stabilizing growth in the Asia region.
The growth is lower compared to the average annual growth of 8% experienced by the region between 2004 and 2008. Speaking to reporters at a media briefing, Heise says the Asia region is expected to be spared from a prolonged period in the doldrums despite its heavy reliance on exports. As whether the financial and economic crisis have left a long-term damage, Heise says a lot of wealth has been diminished by the crisis and the shock may have long-term effects like lower employment, lower growth trend and lower investments.